the nature of warfare between states and interstate warfare has really changed in the last several decades, and it's really affecting more of a civilian population. And our understanding of what's happening on the ground in armed conflict has changed as well, because the reality is that this is no longer just about state territory or state-to-state relations. This is about individual security and human security. Today I'm going to be talking to the Albright Institute fellows about two things. One is why human trafficking is an international security issue, and the second is how we can use UN Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace, and security as a counter-trafficking strategy. I would ask the Albright Fellows, do you drink coffee? Do you eat chocolate? These are two of the major industries that use forced labor and child labor to produce these commodities that we consume on a regular basis. And there isn't one of us who isn't touched by trafficking in persons in some way in this modern-day slavery. So I would ask them, should we all go to jail then? Is that the way to solve the problem? Or should we find another way to think about this problem and realize that inequality is so pervasive in our society that we participate in it even when we don't know we're doing it? So the takeaway is we have to find solutions that address the heart of the issue, which is structural inequality and the structural violence that we all participate in, and we all have a role and a unique mission in changing that. I really want to impress upon the Albright Fellows that UN Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace, and security is not just a piece of paper. It was brought to the Security Council by women from conflict zones across the world who said, look, what you're doing in our countries in peacekeeping and in peace negotiations and in international security matters isn't working. And you need to address the real issues on the ground, the human security issues that are not making it to the table, because you're thinking about security as it's a tank, it's a gun. But actually, real security is about food security. Do I have enough to eat? My physical safety, environmental security, political security. Can I trust that my government, the police, the judiciary, those people who are in charge of protecting and serving the civilian population are actually going to serve and help us and not exploit us? And so I would say that one of the really most important things to understand about 1325 is that it's a group of women who had no money, no power, no army to speak of, who were able to go to the highest level of security decision-making in the world and put forward this idea that individual security, the respect for individual life and the dignity of life, was as important as protecting state borders. And that is the power of women's voices. Because we can't predict the future, we have to be prepared in ourselves to understand how we can deal with change and keep looking for new solutions. Many of the things that we look at today as problems were not problems several years ago. Many of the things that we work on today as solutions didn't exist until a few years ago. So it's really important for the Albright Fellows to take advantage of this opportunity they have now in being exposed to so many interesting speakers, so many interesting topics, and problems in the world, but to approach it with a solutions-oriented approach. Approach it with innovative solutions, and don't be afraid to challenge what we're seeing and what is, because if we don't challenge what is, we don't know what could be.